We're going to take a look at the 5 statements. We're going to use a tool called a tape diagram in order to do that. So first, as we look at the first statement and the last statement, they relate to addition and subtraction because we're talking about Mark's distance is 3 blocks more than Jackie's distance, and that Jackie's travels 12 fewer blocks than Kevin. Next, we could look at the middle 3 statements. They have to do with multiplication and division. So we're going to represent the data in the table using a tape diagram. Let's see what that looks like. So to create a tape diagram, we're going to break apart the total number of blocks from the school into actual squares. So because there are 9 blocks that Mark traveled, it is represented by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 boxes or blocks. Kevin's would have 18. So each box represents 1 block that they traveled. So you can see the tape diagram for Mark, Kevin, and Jackie. Next, we could represent the same tape diagram in a different way. So what we've decided to do here in this second tape diagram, it's still a tape diagram, but we've grouped 3 of the blocks together and noted it by a bigger block with a 3. Here with Jackie, she has 2 groups of 3. So she has 3 with a bigger box and 3. So she has a total of 6. This is going to help us to compare some of the statements. So we can look and see that Jackie, if we take her distance and we replicate it 3 times total, we could make the statement that Kevin's distance is 3 times as far as Jackie's distance. Because as I add these lengths of 6 to 3 blocks, they equal the length of Kevin's tape diagram. So we could prove that distance. The other thing that we could prove is that Mark's distance is half of Kevin's distance. And we can see that Mark has 3 blocks of 3, and Kevin has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Mark has 3 blocks of 3, Kevin has 6 blocks of 3, so Mark's distance is half of Kevin's distance. What else could we take a look at? We could compare Mark and Jackie's. So the statement that talks about Mark travels 3 blocks for every 2 blocks that Jackie travels, we can see here that Mark has traveled 3 blocks while Jackie has just traveled 2. Another 3 blocks by Mark is just 2 blocks for Jackie, and so on. Another way that we could write this relationship is using the ratio notation. The ratio of Mark's blocks traveled to Jackie's blocks is traveled is 3 to 2. We could also write that with a colon. So this is 3 different ways that we could write the relationship shown in the tape diagram. So we have the words for every, we have 3 to 2, and we have 3 to 2 with a colon. So what's similar and different about these statements? First, they all have the 3 and 2. So we can see the 3 and 2 is being used in each of the statements. What's different is the words or the symbols. So we have for every, we have the word to, and we have a colon, all representing a ratio of 3 to 2. Another way that we could represent this is with a fraction. So sometimes ratios are noted in a quotient or in fraction notation.